Robert Eggers' Nosferatu is a masterpiece. I'm a little bit late to the party, I've just seen it, but I feel like there's some lessons here for independent filmmakers that I wanted to touch on. Nosferatu was made for over $200 million, which feels like an impossible sum of money. But these lessons have nothing to do with budget. Whether you're looking at The Witch or The Lighthouse, his films exist in a thought-out world, and every aspect of his films exist in service to expanding the world that already exists in his head. Eggers approaches each of his films like a historian. Now, all of his films have been period pieces, but that doesn't mean that you can't approach your projects with the same care and intentionality. In Nosferatu, you are sucked into a dark, gothic fairy tale with a lore that extends beyond what you see on screen.
I'm so research focused. My inspiration often comes from research. My North Star becomes the historical research. Me and all my collaborators and all the actors know that the goal is this impossible idea of accuracy.
Now, the world you create can exist in history, but an extension of this idea is like what we did on our film Professor Devours, coming out later this year. While Professor Devours was in pre-production, we created our own history and our own lore behind the film that we leaned into so it felt real. We drew from some historical events, but largely wrote our own rules and backstory. The principle's the same. Your world will feel more real if you understand every detail about it. From costumes to set design, Eggers ensures that every aspect of the film is authentic to the world that he's built in his head. In Nosferatu, the costumes and set design scream authenticity to the era and actually teach the audience about the world. And they also help the actors live in the world and understand their performances.
I think my prop's the cross, this guy here. I remember before I started, Rob gave me this like 2-page long biography of my character, which was insanely thorough. It was amazing. My character, Anna, is very religious, has grown up in a very religious background. We see a lot of crosses in the film.
In Professor Devours, we used the costumes and set design to sell the audience on the world that we'd created. It had to feel real. We didn't spend very much money on the film, and you don't need to. In every scene, we asked ourselves the question, however, does this choice pull the audience deeper into the story? And because we understood the world that we were playing in, we were able to create subtext and complement the script in a way that wouldn't have been possible otherwise. In The Witch, the characters speak as if they just stepped out of 1630s New England. Eggers creates the world not just through the design of the film, but through language.
For I have done nothing save preach Christ's true gospel.
Must you continue to dishonor the laws of the Commonwealth and the Church with your prideful conceit?
If my conscience sees it fit.
Then shall you be banished from this plantation's liberties.
In Professor Devours, we're also very, very intentional with our script. Despite our limitations in budget, I believe we were able to transport our actors and the audience into a completely different world.
We give our teeth to the professor. We give our hands to the professor. We give our bones to the professor. We give our eyes to the professor. We give our heart to the professor. We give our mind to the professor. Society is dead. God is dead. The professor devoured them all. Long reign the professor.
To sum it up, world building is about obsession. Research, design, and language all work together to create a living, breathing environment. We didn't have a $200 million budget for Professor Devours. We didn't have hundreds of extras or the ability to recreate a completely different era. But by giving a little bit more love to your story and reflecting the world with what you have access to on set, it's entirely possible to create extra layers of immersion. By doing this, your audience is going to go there with you. You're giving them something to do while watching your film. They're learning and discovering a whole new world. You can follow our progress on Professor Devours through our Patreon or here on the YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.